Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBA and WBC super lightweight champion of the world. It is, of course, the Rougarou himself, Mr. Regis Prograis. Regis, welcome back on the show, my friend.
All right, man. Thanks for having me, brother. Glad to be back.
Hey, it's always fantastic having you on, Regis. You're on the intro every week for our listeners. So, Regis, we last spoke back in November. At the time, you were getting ready to fight Devin Haney. Let's just start with that briefly. What seemed to go wrong on the night, Regis?
Well, first off, even before that, man, like camp was, I feel like in that fight, I really wanted to win that fight so bad, and I did too long. I feel like I did too long. People was asking me, they was like, man, you don't think that's gonna be too long of a camp? And not realizing, it really. I feel like that happened, and I feel like I just got too much into like playing the mind games with them, instead of, for me, like, boxing is fun, bro. I have fun with boxing, and at that time, I kind of lost it because I just wanted to hurt them, I just really wanted to hurt them, and it wasn't, like, and I really didn't like them at the time, and, and for me, boxing, it always been like, obviously, everybody know boxing is more mental than physical, we all train and stuff, but the people that separate themselves is the people that's, that's more better mentally. And so I feel like, that's kind of what happened with me is like, I just, I didn't, I just fought a bad fight. I didn't fight the right fight and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the build-up was so exciting. The mind games, the face-offs, it was just so exciting, all the build-up. Right. It really was.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like I even got caught up in doing that too much, I got caught up in wanting to do this and wanting to do that and, just talking so much trash and stuff like that. And I felt like I wanted to do that and not put that energy into the fight. I just did all that, but I should have put all the energy I was doing with the build up and all that stuff into the fight. And I remember, and really I was cool. I was cool for the most part, but I remember that Friday was the ceremonial weigh-in. And, with that, it's just like, man, when I exploded, I was like, man, fuck the Haneys. And I exploded. It was like, somebody called my people, and it was like, yeah, they got him. They got to him. And I was cool the whole time. I was good, but I was having fun. And until that time, I just kind of exploded. And I should never, for me, I should never did it. And I took like the fun out of the boxing, like, like I like.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And you were so confident when we spoke. You were really convinced that, Devin was going to get stopped. You were saying he had no power.
Yeah.
But he actually did look very heavy-handed on the night. My last question on the fight itself, what was his power like, Regis?
Honestly, brother, it really didn't. It didn't change. Like, I mean, he was more sharper, and really, I remember I got dropped, but I was like, it never hurt. Like, I feel like I never got hurt in a fight and stuff like that. It just was like my feet work. That's what I'm kind of working on right now. But I still feel the same way. I feel like, I feel like I never got hurt, and I saw that, when I got dropped, it was just like I ran into a punch, so anybody can drop you when you kind of run into a punch and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I did. And I still feel like he don't got no power.
Okay. Let's leave that in the past and move on to what's next. You'll be boxing Jack Catterall, August 24th in Manchester. What do you make of Jack as a fighter, Regis, and how do you see this fight playing out, my friend?
Obviously, I feel like I'm going to win. I feel like I'm going to just go out there and do my thing, just like I always say, man. I just want to go out there and do me and just prove the world I'm still here. Everybody, I feel like people write me off and stuff. But listen, my physical skills, the physical part of me is still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only part of me that I had to work on is the mental part. And, I'm working on that. I worked on that already, so I'm good. But the physical is still here. And, you put me and Jack Catterall up in if I use my skills against him and I use my physical against him, I beat him 10 times out of 10. That's what I feel. I mean, like I said, I feel like he's an okay fighter, but he's never fought nobody. I mean, the thing is, his claim to fame was the Josh Taylor thing. That was it. His claim to fame was Josh Taylor, but besides that, you go down his box rate, he never really fought nobody, especially like nobody on my resume, and I feel like I fought better boxers and I fought bigger punchers, but obviously, I'm not looking past him, man. I'm totally invested in myself, and I just want to go out there. And like I said, man, for me, it's just my goal, my aim is to be a 3-time champion, and this is for me, this is the biggest fight, without the belt. So I'm all in it.
And are you excited to come back to the UK? I know that obviously you boxed in London before. It wasn't necessarily Josh Taylor's backyard. Obviously, he's from Scotland, but you were received well. The fans loved you. Obviously, this time you're fighting in pretty much Jack's backyard, but still the UK fans have got a lot of love for you.
Right. I feel like the UK fans have a lot of love for me. I feel like, I mean, that's it. Honestly, brother, I'm going to tell you, Matchroom, that's all they offer me. That's what they say. You got this or nothing else. And so I was like, shit, if that's what y'all want to do to me, that's cool. I'll do that, you know. If that's what they did. They said, listen, you can fight this fight or there's no other fight. You only have this option. So, all right, cool. I'll take it. I'll do it. I'll take the fight. And I feel like me and Jack, you know, we were supposed to fight, you know, like I said, we were supposed to fight we was really supposed to fight a few years ago, but it just never came through. You know, when we both was with Probellum, we were supposed to fight a while ago, but it kind of just never happened. So I feel like, man, I do think that this is the biggest fight that they can make without the belt. And, you know, after this, I'll be, you know, right back on to fight for the world title again. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the fight. I do feel like it's definitely a really winnable fight for me. Even being in the UK, I don't feel no different about it. So for me, I'm all in.
You say there that the fight could have been made a while back, and that kind of leads me in what I was going to say next, because obviously in boxing things change quickly. I personally felt that Jack beat Josh in their first fight, and Jack, for me, should have been the undisputed, undefeated super lightweight world champion. Obviously, when he didn't get the decision and the rematch with Josh wasn't looking likely, you know, Jack called you out at the time because you'd picked up the WBC title, and I like Jack, not as much as I like you, don't worry about that, but I get along with Jack, and I said to Jack, I think those belts do belong to you, Jack. You should have had them on the night you beat Josh, but if you absolutely have to fight for them, don't fight someone like Regis Prograis. Fight someone's grandmother. Get a nice, easy win, and you deserve the belt anyway, but that's a hard fight for you, fighting Regis. You deserve an easy route. Now, fast forward to today, and Jack has obviously avenged that loss to Josh Taylor. You're coming off, no disrespect, but 2 below par performances, and now Jack is the favourite in this fight. And some people think he wins easy. I don't know if I've asked you a question in there or not, but things change quickly. Can you understand why he might be the favourite in some people's eyes?
Of course, I understand. Listen, if it wasn't me fighting, I wouldn't understand. Yeah, I'm coming off 2 bad performances. You know, that's fine. And I feel like, you know, that's why they, you know, they feel like they can take the fight right now because they think I'm coming off, because I am coming off 2 bad performances. You know, and like I said, it just, for me, listen, if I'm me, if I am me from a few months ago, a few years ago, listen, I beat them easily. I know I beat them easily, you know. So I just have to, the main thing, man, I just have to go out there and just be me, beat them, me, the one that, you know, the one that became a champion, the one that became a 2-time champion. If I do that, I shouldn't have no type of hard route at all. I really do. I mean, like I said, I think that Jack is a, you know, a good fighter and stuff. But I mean, listen, if I'm me in there, I shouldn't have no problems.
Yeah, and that's the big question. If you're you, I mean, you at your peak, you're one of the most dangerous men pound for pound, in my honest opinion. I know, obviously, every fight in a boxer's career is a must-win fight, but I do kind of feel like this is a true must-win fight for you. Do you feel that way as well, Regis?
I never feel like that, man. You know, I don't put the pressure on me. You know, I mean, everybody say that type of stuff, but listen, man, if you look at the careers of like a Roberto Duran and all that type of stuff, they had those same type of fights, and they lost, and then they just out of the blue, they came out of nowhere and they just won, and they kept winning, you know. So, I really don't feel like that. But I mean, if the fans feel like that, the promoters feel like that, that's fine. But I don't really feel like that, man. You know, I feel like I just want to go out there and perform, and I want to go out there and show people that I'm still me, and go out there and you know, show everybody the kind of what I've been working on. That's the main thing, and see how much I'm improving. You know, I started boxing late, so I didn't really get a lot of fundamentals down. I always just was a fighter in there, you know, and I always applaud myself because, man, I became a 2-time world champion just by fighting, really just street fighting in the ring, you know. But now, you know, I'm doing different things, and I'm working on different things, and that's, you know, for me, that's what I want to show the people.
So where does this fight rank amongst the most important fights of your career thus far?
Honestly, brother, I feel like I had bigger ones. I feel like when I fought for the title both times, they was big. I feel like Josh Taylor was a bigger fight, because you got to realize they had belts on the line. This is a big fight, but I mean, I still look at it as a big fight, and but they're all big. I feel like they're all big, but this is up there. But obviously, I fought bigger because I fought for the titles. So I fought for the title a few times. So that's those was always big. And obviously, the Devin Haney fight, that was a big fight just because, we have, Devin Haney's a bigger name and stuff. And then, so those was bigger fights.
And I know that you, of course, watched on the weekend, man. Oshaki getting robbed on the scorecards to Robson Conceicao. There's a clue in Robson's first name there. I wanted to get your reaction to that because I think it's fair to say that was a robbery.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible, man. I feel like, man, listen, this is what we have to do. And me, including you in the media, man, we have to, why don't we interview the judges? That don't make no sense, man. Like, I feel like they just get off easy. The judges can have a bad score. They can have a bad night, just like everybody else, and they just go home to their families. Like, it should be some pressure on the judges, just like it is on us. After the fight, we have a post-fight press conference. The fighters, the promoters, even like Mauricio Suleiman, the sanctioning bodies in Mendoza, they get interviewed. Everybody gets interviewed, even like Steven Espinoza been interviewed, So why doesn't the judges get interviewed? That doesn't make sense. The judges just get off. So they can it's no pressure on them. They can get off. They can just go and just get off and it's scot-free. It doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. And you talk about somebody like Shock that been working, he's been working his ass off for this, and you can see he was about to cry in the ring. Like, it was a blowout. That was a true blowout, and they gave him the fight. That was one of the worst I ever seen. But the judges should be held accountable. And we always say, in boxing, we always say this, but nothing never happens. Like, why does nothing ever happen? We always say, oh, yeah, the judges should be held accountable. And the judges never be held accountable. It just don't make sense. Like, I feel like, man, you should put pressure on them, just like what we did with, when we was having a lot of police brutality and the police killing innocent people and stuff. They put cameras on them, so they start seeing. So it should be the same thing with the judges. I feel like, man, put the pressure on them from the people. If the judge does feel like, all right, they scored this way, they should be interviewed and say, all right, why did you score the fight this way? That's what should happen, But it's no pressure on the judges. They could just do that and just go home and it's fine, whatever. Go to their families and that's cool.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Something does need to happen, and I'm gutted for Oshaki. He's been on the show before, and I know he's been working hard for years in the shadows, man, and he's just signed to Top Rank, and look what happens. It's sad. Right, yeah. I wanted to say as well, obviously in your division at 140, there's been so much movement. Obviously, Liam Paro upsetting Subriel Matias, Devin Haney vacating, the whole division has been turned upside down. You've had Gary Russell losing to Alberto Puello. Is it exciting times for you, or is it a bit frustrating not kind of being amongst those names at the minute?
No, I mean, I'm not frustrated. I mean, I've been there. Listen, I've been number one in the division. I've been number one in the world. I mean, I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? It just for me, all I want to do is just get back to my spot again. That's the main thing. So I'm right there, and like I feel like after this fight, man, like this is a real big fight, and I feel like, man, right there after this night, after August 24th, I'll be right back in one of those top spots. I feel like for sure I'll be back in one of those top spots.
And just before we wrap things up, Regis, I just wanted to say, if you've got any closing words to the listeners, say whatever you like. We love you on this show. You always give me some fantastic interviews, my friend.
I want to thank everybody that been following me, my career, since it started. And, right now I'm working to, become a 3-time champion. That's my goal right now. And, hopefully, everybody come out on August 24th. They come support, they come support me. They come support Jack Catterall. They come support just boxing in general. I definitely feel like it's going to be a good night. I'm excited about it. And it's going to be a real good night of boxing. So I just thank everybody, and I'll see y'all then.
There we go. August 24th is the date. Listen, Regis, as always, the pleasure's mine. Thanks for your time. Best of luck, and we'll speak sometime afterwards, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.